Hi, welcome to Energized by Kay. Today's workout is going to be done completely laying down. It is for our abs and legs. Now, this workout can be done in a bed or up on a massage table if you can't come to the floor. We'll go ahead and start on our backs, and we'll bring our heels as close as we can to our tailbone. Let's bring our feet together. And then what we're going to do is we're going to separate our heels, making a triangle. And then we're going to bring our toes in line with our heels. So we're nice and parallel on our heels. And then let's make sure our knees are staying right at our hip bones. We should have that straight line from our hip bones to our knees and then our heels. So what we want to watch out for is if our knees are collapsing inwards or they're splaying out to the side. We want to keep them straight in a line. Now let's just settle in here. We'll take a big inhale, reach up, and exhale down. A few more just like that. Inhale up and exhale down. And we're going to move our arms as if we're moving through water, having a little resistance through the air. Inhale up and exhale down. Good. We'll press our palms down into the ground. And then we're just going to work in our spine a little bit. So we're going to do what's called a scoop ab. So we're going to think of like a Kegel. We rock our tailbone forward and we're pressing that space between our low back and the mat. We're pushing our belly button down towards the ground. And then let's go ahead and do the opposite. We're going to arch our spine and we're going to bring our belly button up towards the sky. And then somewhere in between is going to be our neutral spine. Let's find that again. So we scoop out our abs, squeezing that space between our low back and the mat. So there should be no gaps here. And then arch. And then we'll find our neutral spine in between. Good. Let's go ahead and find that scooped ab again, pressing our belly button down towards the mat. You can fan your palms and press them down by your side for a little bit more support. We're going to press through the heels and we're going to lift our hips up off the mat. And just stay here for a moment, making sure that our knees are in one straight line with our hips. And then we're going to roll down nice and slow. We go through the chest, ribs, belly button, and then tailbone. And we're going to go back to that neutral spine at the bottom. Again, nice and slow. Scooping out our abs, pressing into our heels to lift. Not too high. We don't want to be pushing up to our neck. We're keeping the back of our ribs on the bed or the mat on the floor. And then nice and slow, we roll down through the chest, ribs, belly button, tailbone, back to neutral spine. Good. Take an inhale, reach overhead, and exhale down. Inhale overhead, and exhale down. Good. We're going to do that again. We're going to hold this for a little longer. So we start with that scooped ab, press into the heels and lift. Hold and stay. Make sure our hips are not dropping. We're still pressing, and let's stay up here. And what I want you to find is I want you to feel like your heels are dragging towards your tailbone. They're not going to move. It's just a feeling like we're trying to drag our heels to our tailbone, and we're engaging the back of our legs, our hamstrings, and then roll down through the chest, ribs, belly button, tailbone. Back to that neutral spine at the bottom. Again, scoop out those abs and lift. Hold. Find that drag between our heels coming to our tailbone. Let's hold here. Stay. Inhale, reach your hands overhead. Exhale down. Hold it. One more time. Inhale overhead. And a big exhale down. Press into your palms. Come down through the chest, ribs, belly button, tailbone, back to that neutral spine. Good. We have one more just like that. Starting with that scooped ab, we find our scoop, press into the heels to lift our hips up all the way up. hold and stay, find that drag. Inhale, reach overhead. Exhale down. One more, hold and stay. Inhale overhead. And exhale down. Coming down nice and slow through the chest, ribs, belly button, tailbone, back to our neutral spine. Let's go ahead and pull our right knee into our chest. And we can stay here. If we're comfortable, we can send the left long. If we have our left long, I want you to think that the knee is heavy. So we're pushing, that leg is super heavy, and we're getting a nice hip flexor stretch on our left hip flexor, pulling our right knee, compressing into our chest. Let's go ahead and roll our ankle here and roll the other way. And we're going to take our left hand, we're going to bring it to the outside of our right knee. We're going to twist. My right hand is going to come in line with my shoulder. I'm going to try to keep my right shoulder down on the mat as I twist my knee over to the other side. You can look over your right shoulder. A few breaths here. And then we pull that knee into our chest. Find that compression again. And then we're going to bring our left heel onto the mat. Let's go ahead and straighten the leg, and we'll roll our ankle here. Now, if our leg is not all the way straight, that's fine. What we're trying to feel is a hamstring stretch in the back. And roll the other way. Good. Let's bring that foot down, and we'll bring the left knee into our chest. Squeeze. So a little compression here. And if we can, we'll send the right leg long, getting a nice stretch on that hip flexor. Few more breaths. Your right leg is super heavy, so we don't want to be here. We want to try to send that leg long. Right hand comes over to the side. Look over your left shoulder. Try to press that left shoulder down to the mat. And then we'll pull that knee back into our chest. Find that compression once more. Our right leg is going to come back down to the floor and send our left long. Roll your ankle here if that feels good. And then roll the other way. And then we'll send both feet down to the mat. Now let's find our perfect position that we had before. Heels as close as we can to our tailbone and our knees in line. We're going to bring our hands to the back of our head. Our thumbs go behind our ears, and we're going to keep our elbows wide. Now, when we do this, we're going to have the sensation that our hands are pushing into our head and our head is pushing into our hands. We're going to do the slowest crunch you've ever done, nice and slow. So we start tucking our chin to our chest, and we're going to try to look for our belly button as our shoulders come off the mat. Try to keep your elbows wide and hold. Lower down slow. Good. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, we start tucking our chin into our chest. Look, try to have your eyes meet your belly button. Hold at the top. Exhale, lower down one vertebrae at a time. The slower you go, the better it is. Few more times. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, tuck your chin to your chest. I want you to think like like one of those bugs that curl. We're curling up to meet our belly button, and then lower down. Nice and slow. Ooh, I feel it already. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale. Tuck your chin to your chest. Find your belly button. Let's get those shoulders up nice and high off the mat. Exhale, lower down. Slow, slow, slow. We have two more, almost there. Inhale at the bottom, exhale, curl up, and lower down. Last one, inhale at the bottom, exhale to come up. Inhale, hold. Exhale, lower down. Nice. Let's bring our hands down by our side. Another inhale, reach overhead. Exhale down. Inhale overhead and exhale down. Good. Press those palms down by your side. We're going to take our right leg long, and I want us to feel like we're lengthening that leg. So I want you to feel like that leg is reaching up to the sky. We have a pointed toe. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw a small circle on the ceiling. You can press into your palms for a little more support. So we want to have nice control. So we're not wobbling the leg. We have nice control and we want to reach and lengthen through that leg. And then reverse the direction. Good. We should feel this in our core, a bit in our leg, maybe a little in our hip flexor. We want to go nice and steady, slow and controlled. Good. And then we'll go ahead and bring our toe down towards the mat. And then we're going to bring it around and towards our chest. Down towards the mat on the inhale. Exhale, that leg comes around into our chest. Now, your circle doesn't need to be as big as mine. Maybe it's small. Two more just like that. Inhale down. Exhale, around and up. Inhale down. Exhale, around and up. Good. Can we reverse that? Inhale, we bring the leg towards our chest. Exhale, around and up. Ooh, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And last one, trying to keep our left side still as we move around and up. Good. Let's bring that heel back down to the mat. Good. We should feel that definitely in our hip flexor there. Let's bring our left leg up towards the sky. Elongate that leg. Point your toe. You can press into your palms for a little support, and we'll draw that circle on the sky. Now we might have one leg that's a little better than the other. I definitely feel less control in my left than I did on the right, and that's okay. And then let's go the other direction. Try to make it a circle. I know it's hard. My circle's looking more like a football on this side. Two. And last one. Good. We inhale down. Exhale, we're going to come around and into our chest. Good. Make as wide of a circle as you possibly can. That's going to depend on the range of motion in your hip flexors. I'm running out of room on this side, but I want you to go as wide as you can. And our goal is to keep our right side body still. One more. Exhale around. Good. Let's reverse that. Inhale into our chest. Exhale around and up. Good. Use that breath one more time. And around and up. Good. Let's bring our heel down onto the mat. Let's pull our right and then our left knee into our chest. Give yourself a hug. You can roll your ankles. You can shake your head no. You can rock side to side if that feels good to you. And then we'll bring our heels back down onto the mat. This exercise we're going to do with our hands in a T. So we want our hands to be flat And we're pressing into our palms and they're in line with our shoulders. Now let's bring one leg up to like a 90-degree angle, and then our other leg is going to come up. We're going to holding here, and we're thinking about our scooped ab, pressing our belly button in towards our mat. Hold, 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 stay, stay, stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's bring one leg down and the other. Good. Take an inhale, reach overhead, and exhale down. Inhale overhead. Now, if that exercise was hard for you, I want you to stay there. If we feel like we can move on, we'll go ahead and progress that. So we'll come back to our T. One leg comes up and then the other. We meet knee to knee. Hold and stay. Scoop out those abs. We want to continuously be pressing our belly button in towards the ground to support our low back. We take an inhale. We're going to twist 2 legs over to the side at one time, keeping both shoulders on the mat. Exhale, we find our center again. Other side. Inhale, twist. Exhale, center. Inhale, twist. Exhale, center. Again, inhale, twist. Exhale, center. One more. We got this. Inhale, twist. Exhale, center. And inhale, twist. Exhale, center. Give yourself a hug. And then bring your feet down onto the ground. Good. We take an inhale. Reach, reach, reach. And exhale to come down. Good. We're going to turn to our side. And we can do this exercise down on our side, or we can come up to our elbow. I like to come up to my elbow. And if we are on the elbow, we're pressing into our elbow. So we don't want to just hang here. We want to press into that elbow like we have a straight line that's coming up this way. Let's go ahead and banana our legs. So we'll bring our toes to the front corner of our mat. Our top leg is going to lift, and we're going to draw that circle. Just like we drew the circle on the ceiling, we're going to draw it on the wall. For 3, 2, and 1. Reverse the direction. Trying to be nice and controlled. And hold. Release. Let's take a nice side stretch over. And then we come back. Lift the leg. We're going to tap the leg 2 times to the front, 2 times to the back. Up and over, up and over, up and over, up and over. And we're trying to eliminate moving our hips with it. So we don't want all this wobbly motion. We want to lift from the back of our legs. We should feel this a bunch in our glutes. 2 more. And then center. Let's find that big stretch. And exhale here. Good. If we're on our elbow, we're still pushing into that elbow. We're going to inhale and we're going to kick the leg up, flex, and down. Point to lift, flex to come down. Point to lift, flex down. Point and lift, flex down. Let's go 2 more. Point and lift, flex down, and point and lift, flex to come down. Good. This one we're going to want to come down onto our side. We can be here or we can support our head, whichever is comfortable for you. So we're going to lift that top leg and then we're going to squeeze our inner thighs together. Bottom leg comes to meet the top. Release just the bottom leg. Let's do this 4 times. Squeeze, lift just the bottom leg and release. Squeeze, hold, release. Squeeze, hold, release. squeeze, hold, release, and squeeze, hold, release. Good. Let's go ahead and find the other side. However we get there, take your time. And again, we can be down, we can be here. I like to come to my elbow for this. And you can always take your top arm and bring it down onto the mat or the bed, wherever you are, for a little more support. Let's lift the top. We're going to draw that circle. Good. Let's have a nice pointed toe. Trying to not move the hip as much as we can. All the motion's coming from that leg. And then reverse the direction. And release. Let's take a nice side stretch. And exhale. Good. Let's lift the leg again. 2 taps to the front, 2 taps to the back. Up and over. Good. No swinging those hips. If you're on your elbow, keep pressing into that elbow. No slouching. And last one. Good. Let's go ahead and find our center. Inhale, stretch, exhale, down. Good. Let's lift that top leg again. We kick up, flex, and down. Point to lift, flex to come down. Good. And I want you to imagine that your foot is moving through water here. We're finding that resistance through the air. Point to lift, flex to come down. And last one. Good. Let's come down. And we'll go ahead and lift that top leg. Squeeze. Hold those toes together. And release just the bottom leg. Good. Squeeze and hold. Release. Squeeze, hold. Release. 4 more. Squeeze, hold. And release. And squeeze, hold. Release. And squeeze. Good. Let's go ahead and roll to our belly. And we're going to press into our elbows. So we want to press into those elbows. We don't want to stay stuck here. We want to press into our elbows and press into our palms evenly. Let's press down and look over our right shoulder. Try to find your right toe. It's okay if we don't find it. And then switch sides. Look over our left shoulder. Good. And then we'll find our center. Good. Let's go ahead and press into our palms, pressing our shoulders down away from our ears. So we don't want our shoulders to collapse. We want to press our shoulders down away from our ears. I want you to imagine that your elbows are like magnets and they're pressing together. We're just going to lightly tap and then press back up. Tap, press back up. Let's go 4 more times. And last one. Good. Let's come down. We're going to stretch our arms in front of us and we're going to hover our nose down towards the ground. On an inhale, we're going to lift our right hand up and then down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Let's do this one more time. Lift and lower and lift and lower. Good. Let's come back to our elbows. And we're going to get into the back of our thighs. So we're going to kick our tailbone 2 times and then release. Other side, kick and down. Inhale on our kick, exhale, release. Inhale, kick, exhale, release. And 2 more each side. Inhale, kick, exhale, down. Good. And then let's go ahead, if we can, we'll push up to our knees. Bring your toes together, separate the knees, and we're going to push back for a nice child's pose. If you'd like a little bit more stretch in our low back, we can place our forehead down on the ground and send our arms behind us and then just melt into the ground for a nice spinal release. Good. And then let's find our palms on the ground, reach ahead of us, and we'll think of pressing our chest or our nose down towards the ground for a nice shoulder stretch. Good job, guys. Thanks for joining me on this workout today.